Well, it is mid-May 2024, and I'm out in a food plot here. And this was winter rye last fall, although there's some clover in here. And the benefit of having clover with your winter rye is it's more biodiversity, gives the deer a little variety. I do like the fact that the winter rye is extremely cold tolerant. But this is going to be some good summer nutrition. For one thing, I've got a utilization cage, and maybe we'll take a look at that here in a little bit on this food plot. And I'm guessing, we're going to see some taller winter rye than what we currently see out here. But with that being said, I'm going to be fertilizing today. And what I'm fertilizing with is 0060 or potash. And, I did a soil test on this. This is a newer plot, so I'm going to keep doing one every year, making sure that I'm moving in the right direction. I still need to raise the pH a little bit more as well, but we'll continue working on that. And that's another reason why I went with winter rye in this plot, because the pH was initially fairly low, and winter rye is a pretty forgiving plant or crop. And so with this 0060, what that really means is if you have 100 pounds of it, which I do, I have 2 bags here, that would equal 60 pounds of the potash or potassium. And so when you read that soil test, a couple things you need to know: how big your acreage is, and this is just a little under an acre here, as well as, what your numbers are on your fertilizer, so you can do the math. And again, it's 60%. So 60% of 100 is 60. But anyway, that's what I'm using today to raise that potash or potassium level up, and that's going to benefit the clover as well. Now, a couple things with this though is with, if I was spreading out nitrogen, which I'm not today, you have to be careful because you can burn the soil. You can put too much out and burn the soil. With the potash, that isn't going to happen. And so I'm safe with that. The other thing is I don't need to put it down right before a rain if I'm not working it into the soil, although we did get some rain here yesterday or last evening. But that isn't the case with this. This isn't going to hurt the plant sitting on top of the soil. It'll start working its way in the soil, but it's not going to work in very fast. You could disc it in, but again, with the clover in here, I'm not looking to disc this, and I'm going to let this grow all summer long, and then I'll plant the food plot here in the fall. Although again, this clover is going to provide quite a bit of nutrition this summer and into the fall. And so, if I do disc, which I hope I don't have to, the only reason why I would consider disking is I still need to be raising my pH, and when I put the lime down, that will help it incorporate and change the pH a little faster. But I'll probably be liming here in several weeks, so again, over time the rain can help move some of that lime down into the soil to reduce or actually raise the pH. So I've just got a backpack spreader here. I've got 100 pounds of the potassium there, or 0060, so 60 pounds of potassium, 100 pounds of fertilizer, and the other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of boron. And you have to be careful with boron. It's a micronutrient, but it's also needed by the plant. So, when you have a soil test done, at least every once in a while, I would recommend adding the micronutrients to your soil test. It might cost you a little bit more, but the macronutrients are potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen, and those are extremely important. But once you get those in line, and once you get your pH in line, then your limiting factor could be, some of these secondary or micronutrients, such as sulfur, boron, magnesium, and such. So we're going to continue working on this. Like I said, I'm going to have about a pound and a half of the boron, per the acre. So realistically, not that much. And again, with a micronutrient, you don't need as much. And you have to be careful because, again, with too much boron, you can kill your plants and it can be harmful. So, and that can take a long time to cure itself. But with the potash, not quite an issue. Now, the other benefit, again, with having an actual soil test, I know what I need to add rather than guessing. And you know, a lot of people will say, oh, what fertilizer should I put on my food plot? And people might say, well, what is it? And then they'll say, you know, it's clover or winter rye and something, and they'll spew out these numbers. And you know, I think they're doing it with well intentions, but that isn't necessarily going to be right. And on this property and on a lot of properties that I've worked on, the phosphorus level is actually high. So if I was putting a triple 13 or a triple 15 or triple 19 on here, where it's 19, let's say triple 19, 19 pounds of nitrogen, 19 pounds of potassium, and 19 pounds of phosphorus per 100 pounds, I'd be wasting my money with the phosphorus, and I'd be creating a greater imbalance as well. So that's, you know, a benefit of the soil test, but we'll get this spread. It ain't going to take that long. Just going to go for a walk, get a little exercise, and it's a nice cool morning. So we got to get after it. One thing I like about these hard spreaders or seeders compared to the bag ones is, especially if you're by yourself, it is a lot easier to pour in these than the bag ones. Now, a lot of the bag ones will have some support inside, and I've used those over the years, but you know, this works extremely well, at least in my situation. Now here on the lid, what you can see is this is the boron, and I'm going to add a little bit more of this, but I just wanted to show you. So, you know, what I'm going to be doing with this is, you know, putting in the potassium or the potash, and putting in some boron, and then kind of, you know, shaking it up, putting the lid on, shaking it up so I can get it all stirred up. And here you can see, you know, what the difference is when it comes to, I don't know if you can see my hand there. Yep. There you go. What the potassium or the potash looks like. But we'll get it mixed up, and we'll get her spread.